All right, so that was kind of an old video. I took it last month. I just didn't really feel like posting it. I don't really have too much to say about it because the excitement's kind of gone. But one thing that I had been noticing around that time and specifically on that day was how my form was, specifically on the days of the deadlift PR. Because every time I had thought that I made some kind of step forward with slack pull or tucking my lats or just form in general, it would all kind of regress back to how I would normally pull on the day of. And it would get a little bit better, but it was completely different to how I was training it in the weeks prior. And I was really confused why that kept happening, but then something, I guess, just clicked in my mind that that was just my body's way of trying to tell me how to deadlift, basically. So one of the deload days, I just decided to loosen the reins a little bit and listen to my body and what it was trying to do. And instead of basically changing an entire part of my setup, all I really did was add a step to the end. And I think that it's worked. Obviously, I can't be sure because I haven't actually tested it with a max out attempt. I was supposed to do a block pull max out attempt last week, but the carryover with slack pull is a little bit confusing. And since the bar is placed directly under where my form breaks down, I really can't get myself into a good position because that's where I'm weakest. I also did lowball it. I did 475 for three. I'm still not really sure if my block pull is stronger or weaker than my normal pull because I did read somewhere, or maybe I heard it somewhere, that for some people, if it's right where your sticking point is, you can actually pull less than you can just normally off the floor. It was pretty easy. I think like an RPE 8.3. Honestly, I do think I could have got 490 or 495. And that definitely is really good considering I'm not entirely sure if that's better or worse than I could pull off the floor. But I am certain that 500 for three is definitely in the near future. And back to what I was saying about the adding a step, I got to right at the end and then I just completely went off track. So it's just everything normally. I get to where I would be in my most comfortable position, and then I pretty much lock everything except for my hips, and then I go up and wedge, which is it's just basic. It's just taken me an annoyingly long time to figure out how to do it. I did try with the heavier weight than my random form updates usually are. I did 315, which was a good and a bad idea. I didn't really stretch or warm up at all before going straight to 315. And I was having really bad trap pain on Friday. So I took a couple of days off and I think we're taking this entire week off. I'm not sure. I skipped the heavy squats and just did the normal accessories, which is what you're seeing right now. But it's been fine since Monday, and I'll definitely be able to start back up next week. And I have to wrap this section up because I'm halfway through the video and I still have three other things that I want to talk about. I finally decided to stick to an actual cut. I was 231 in that deadlift video. I'm 225 right now, and I still don't feel any physical difference, at least not strength wise. I think the biggest thing I've felt is my body temperature. I'm sitting in my garage right now, and I usually have a fan in here because it's so hot, but I'm fine. I don't really feel the heat as much as I normally would, but I have also realized that everything is much colder than it usually is. And that is annoying, but I do know it's mainly my fault. I'm pretty much always shirtless and I never have anything on my feet. So that plays a pretty big role in me always being cold. I was planning on going down to 200, but I changed my mind. Really just because I don't really feel like cutting for that long. And I would like to eat a pizza sometime in the near future. Or a cheesesteak. I think I'm going to get that instead. But for right now, I am going to be competing in the 231 weight class just because we're switching federations and there's no 220 in the federation that I'm going to be going into. I don't remember the name just because I don't really care. But like I said, I think I said it. I'm going to be competing in 231. I probably am going to cut the remaining 5 pounds just because I want to see what I look like at 220. I have noticed that I've been squaring out a little bit more, like my jawline is slightly more defined. The vein on my forearm pops a little bit more often, and I can, like, when I randomly flex in the mirror, I can see it. And the third thing for today is I probably should have started talking about it before the cut because I do think it's a little bit more important, but that's in the past. I've been looking a little bit more into muscle fiber types and the type of training that a specific muscle group benefits from, like slow, wait, high rep, fast, fast or slow, pretty much. And I do think that switching my style up a little bit will be able to help my training because I've noticed that my in shoulders, I'm not sure if I have bad chest genetics or bad chest training. I'm just gonna say training because I don't want to admit I have bad genetics. So also chest, and those are the muscles that I am training the farthest away from what their specific muscle type are. So I think like the entire back is just slow twitch, and I've been training it with really no pauses at all. I just been, yanking out reps. And I think that is part of the reason why it really isn't as developed as it should be. My traps are developed, but that's actually because of not training my shoulders properly. I was training my shoulders slowly, and I realized that I would always feel my traps being engaged, and I really didn't know why. I mostly thought it was just because they were more developed. But now I am actually starting to think that it's just because of I've been training them wrong. The first time I tried it was, I think it was a set of 20 with dumbbell rows. I tried to do those slow. And honestly, I think that was the only time probably in my life, at least recently, that my rear delts have actually been sore. Like I wasn't even sure what muscle it was when I woke up in the morning because, I'd never felt it. Shoulders, I haven't really had a chance to test it out. I did feel an unusual amount of shoulder activation when I was doing I think it was a single arm dumbbell bench press. And I think that might be because shoulders might benefit more than chest from fast twitch muscles. So I might want to look into that and see if chest might actually be, some kind of mix between fast and slow to kick out as much shoulder activation as possible from it. But that's pretty much it. I am out of space for videos, so I'm either gonna add the footage from me doing planks or just random flexing videos. I'm not sure exactly which one I'm gonna do, but I'll see you next time.